everyone. We're going to express each complex number in polar form. Also going to graph these and show you the Argonne diagram. So basically what we have is rectangular form here, and these all three are polar form. Okay, the length of the arrow is called the absolute value of z. So basically what z is, absolute value of z equals square root of a squared plus b squared, which also equals r. So these two equal. We already did r in the previous videos. So r is going to be non-negative and z is going to be non-negative. And the angle is called the polar angle of z. So let's look at some examples here and convert and look at this. So for the first one, I'm going to go ahead and plot this point. And this y-axis is now called your imaginary axis. And this x-axis is called the real. So this is your real part. And if I go out, let's say 1 here. So we went out 4. And this would be 1 times I. So this would be here. So the point is right here. So that's your rectangular point. Now for Argonne diagram, what you do is you start from here, the pole, and go all the way up here and draw an arrow. So that's where you're getting your z. So this is the b part is equal to, if you're doing a plus bi, this is b equals r sine of theta. And this part right here is called a, and that equals r cosine of theta. So to get your conversion, what we're going to do is write r equals absolute value of 1 plus I. So this is going to equal the square root of 1 squared plus 1 squared, which equals square root of 2. And again, your theta we get from tan. So theta equals inverse tan of 1 divided by 1, which equals 45 degrees. So writing it in polar form, we're going to write z equals square root of 2 cosine of 45 degrees plus square root of 2 I, or you put the I in front, sine of 45 degrees. And we can shorten this up by writing z equals square root of 2 cis of 45 degrees. Now this is pronounced S-I-S-S. So that's how you pronounce that. So this would be your final answer. And this is your Argonne diagram with the arrow. Okay? So let's do the next one. Now we just have I. So that's just, this could be written as 0 plus 1I, or just I. So that would be right if we go up 1 here. So I'll call this 1. So there's just that point there. So writing it out, we're going to get R equals absolute value of 0 plus I, which is just I, equals the square root of 0 squared plus 1 squared, which equals 1. Now tan of theta equals 1 over 0. It's undefined. You can tell looking at this, let's look at it like this, that this is 90 degrees. So we know our angle equals 90 degrees. So the way you would write it is Z equals cis 90 degrees. All right, the next one is this one. So in this one, we're going out -3. 1, 2, 3. So it's -3. And if you do, that's your coordinate. And if you do the argon diagram, you can draw it this way. So we get R equals absolute value of -3. This is really -3 plus 0I. So this is just going to equal square root of -3 squared plus 0 squared, which equals 3. And so you can see really just by looking at it that the angle is 180 degrees. So you're going to write this as Z equals 3 cis 180 degrees. And finally, the last one is this one. So if I plot this is your imaginary axis. This is your real. So we have square root of 3, which is about 1 point. I'll make this 1 to 1.73 square root of 3. And -I, so I'll just bring it down here. So our point is about right there. And so your argon diagram would go from the pole down this way. All right, so your R equals absolute value of square root of 3 minus I, which equals the square root of square root of 3 squared plus 1 squared, which equals 2. So we get inverse tan, or tan inverse, -1 divided by square root of 3. And again, we're going, our angle's going down. So this is going to equal -30 degrees. All right. Since we're keeping the R as positive, what we're going to do is write this as our angle equals 360 degrees minus 30 degrees, and that equals 330 degrees. So your final answer is going to be Z equals 2 cis 330 degrees. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.